So today we're going to be making my favorite curry recipe, and actually it's technically a butter chicken recipe, but it's just one of our favorites and I make it a lot. So I got requests from people who wanted me to share this, so I thought I would just do that today. So the first thing we're going to do is add the coconut milk into the slow cooker. It's cold, so you can see it's solid. On top it was solid. And it says to add in 3/4 cup of plain yogurt, but I'm just gonna scoop some out, not measure exactly. And then a whole can of tomato paste. Then we have 1 to 2 teaspoons of red curry paste. And here we're going to be switching angles, and we're going to cut up the onion. So here you can see if you push on the garlic clove with the flat blade of the knife, it loosens the peel and makes it really easy for it to come off. And I know that a lot of people use a garlic press, but I personally just use a knife. It's just my preference. And next we have fresh ginger, and I actually have always used just ginger powder, but I decided I would just use fresh ginger this time because it is obviously way better to use fresh than dried spices. And by the way, this little knob of ginger here cost like 25 cents, so it's really cheap. Oh, I think I actually forgot to mention, I use Half-Baked Harvest's cookbook for this recipe, and I love all of her recipes. She's a super good cook and makes some really yummy, healthy, tasty recipes. So I will link the cookbook down below. It's this one. I know that she just came out with a new one, so I have not been able to get it yet, but I want to, just because I love all of her cookbooks, all of her recipes. And I will also link this recipe down below. I found one that is very similar on Half-Baked Harvest website, so I will link that. And another note that I want to make, this recipe says that you should use 2 tablespoons of garam masala, but I don't have it, so I always use curry powder, and I do like 2 teaspoons. And I know garam masala would be better, but this is what I have, so I always just use this, and it has worked so far for me. I know it would be worth it for me to invest in garam masala because I use this so much. So yeah, I sometime will get it, but I haven't yet. And then a teaspoon of paprika, And then we have turmeric. It says about a half a teaspoon of turmeric. And we have half to 1 teaspoon of ground cayenne pepper. And this recipe says to use a quarter teaspoon of salt, but I personally do not think that is enough. So I usually add like a whole teaspoon. Obviously you can do less if you want to, but that's just my preference. Alright, so now we are at the point of stirring it. It already smells so good. I feel like every cook says that whenever I watch a cooking video. The first thing they say is everything smells so good. And then last thing, just add in a little bit of butter on top. Right there. And that's it. I do need to add the lemon juice, but that is actually going to go in after it's done cooking. So this is all I need to add for now. So I'm going to go ahead and get this crock pot plugged in, and I will check back in probably about 6 hours. You can cook it on high for 4 hours or low for 6 to 8 hours, and you don't have to stir it during cooking either. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that started. So it's almost at 6 hours, so I'm going to start some rice. Okay, so it has been 6 hours now. So, and I have not stirred it at all, so that's why all that butter is just sitting on the top. I'm gonna add in just a bit of lemon juice. Let's stir it. I can't wait to eat this. So yummy.